Happy Halloween! Today's video is my final Halloween video this year. I have 9 last-minute outdoor Halloween decorations. I was able to finish all 9 of them in less than 2 days. So you have time before trick-or-treating starts to do a couple of these. As always, I will have a list of supplies down in the description box. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Faith, and this is Willoughby DIY. First up are coffin garden signs. And you just want a couple of these little coffin signs from the Dollar Tree. I'm removing their tags and filling those holes with some wood filler. This part is optional, depends on how much time you have. When it dries, I sand it smooth and take purple pansy for the trick-or-treat one. I give this one a little over 2 coats of this paint because some spots just didn't want to take the paint and the spot over. After I get it painted, I do take a brush, a clean liner brush, and clean out those crevices where the letters and the little cutouts are so that there's no paint dripping and, you know, gunking up in those places. You can let it dry and paint your second coffin. For this one, I chose Harvest Orange for the pumpkin portion of it. And it took a couple of coats to get a nice color on there. Once again, you want to go in with a clean brush to clean out the crevices, you know, the cutout portions of it. Then I take this black chalkboard paint and do the outside edge of it. I do mess up a little bit, but I go back in and fix that later, no big deal. You see me using a piece of construction paper to try not to paint over that too much. Once they're completely dry, you can decorate them if you want. I didn't decorate the pumpkin one, but I am going to add some ribbon to the trick-or-treat one. I also flip it over and attach the little flaps there on the back as well. Once they were decorated, I took 2 of these 12-inch bamboo skewers from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hot glue those onto the back of these little coffin signs so that they can be stuck down into the ground. And I take some ribbon that I don't really like too much and like cut a couple of pieces and stuck it on there for extra security, of course. I'm going to repeat that with my other little coffin sign, and then you can add like maybe a coat of clear spray paint or some Mod Podge to protect them from the elements a bit. But other than that, they're done. I have a lot of little like stakes and stuff, like little garden stakes, like these skeleton garden stakes. And all you want to do with these guys is get you a couple of the Dollar Tree skeletons. I hot glued a little bit on the back of their heads so that their heads would stay facing forward and not bobble around everywhere. Once that was dry, taking a couple of these 32-inch bamboo skewers that you can get in the camping section at Walmart. I'm going to take one for each of the skeletons, figure out how long I need it to be, and I just broke it. I couldn't get it to cut with my shears, so I just snapped it. I'm going to repeat that on the other one, and then we can start hot gluing these to the backs of our skeleton. I'm just going to put hot glue on between the shoulder blades and on the tailbone, and I'm also using that little trick with the ribbon pieces to help secure it in place. It's so easy. I also go back in and add in a bit more hot glue just here and there to make sure it's nice and secure, and they're holding up pretty well. And just to let you guys know, I will show you at the end of this video all of my stuff set up in my windows and garden beds. Now we have our blooming skulls, and these are super simple. Take however many of the skulls you want. I have 10. They come 8 in a pack. Then I'm grabbing 10 of the mini mums, 5 cream colored, 5 red. I heat up this little poker tool to poke a hole in the bottom of the skull to get a little grip for my shears to go in there and widen that hole enough for one of those 12-inch bamboo skewers from the Dollar Tree to fit. Just add you some hot glue at that hole and stick the blunt end of the skewer inside. Then we're going to pull apart those mini mums, take off all the plastic bits. There's like this little white plasticky bit there too. Layer your petals back up and slide them onto your skewer underneath the base of your skull. You want to hold on to that one little piece of plastic from the florals, that little thing right there, so that you can add some hot glue and use it to sort of hold that in place. Just hot glue, slide it down, And that's pretty much it for these guys. If you want and you have the time, you can do what I did and add a little bit of this black chalkboard paint to the sticks. I think it really makes it look so much better. But if you don't have the time, don't worry about it. It's not necessary. Once they're dry, they're ready to display. I really like how these turned out. They're so cute and creepy. Perfect. Next up are our garden ghosts, and I've been making these little guys for years. You want some foam balls. I grabbed a pack of these from the Dollar Tree. They're like 2 inches. There's 4 in a pack. And some ribbons and twines, maybe some buttons and rhinestones, different things to decorate them with. You'll need a pack of these trash bags from the Dollar Tree and some cheesecloth. They do carry that at the Dollar Tree, but I couldn't find it this year, but Walmart also has it. To start with, I'm doing these little 2-inch foam balls from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to take 4 of the 12-inch bamboo skewers from the Dollar Tree as well. We're just going to hot glue that, put some hot glue on the end of that, stick it about halfway into the ball, and then get your trash bags ready. Now, the Dollar Tree has other colors of these trash bags if you want, but I like mine to be white and vanilla scented. So just open your bag up and put your little ghost head in there, putting the bottom of the bag at the top of its head, and then you can cut the end of the trash bag about 1 inch from the bottom of that skewer. And then you want to take one of the little ties that come in the pack of trash bags and just secure that trash bag onto the stick. And then we have these 2.5-inch foam balls. I'm going to grab 2 of these. They come in 3 packs at the Dollar Tree, and 2 of those 32-inch bamboo skewers from Walmart. And I'm going to figure out how long I want them to be, mark them, snap them, and we can start putting this together just like we did the other ones. Just hot glue, stick the skewer in the ball, add your trash bag, and these don't need to be cut. They're perfectly long enough. These last 2, I wanted big ones. So I grabbed 2 of these Dollar Tree Christmas ornaments. And then these are the like balloon holders you can get at the Dollar Tree. They come in like 6 and 12 pack ones. Some are taller and you only get 6. And these are the shorter ones that you get 12 for $1. So I'm going to take 2 of each of these things. And I want this to sit a little closer to that little hole in the ornament. So I'm going to take this little top off of the stick and just sort of cut it across. You can see how I'm doing it here. You can't really describe this area on this piece, but I just cut it. It's not necessary. I just wanted that to sit closer to the hole in the ornament. Put your little top thing back on your stick and attach, using hot glue, attach this little balloon holder thingy to the ornament. Put you a bit more hot glue on there to make sure it's nice and secure. Then we're going to make a nice point on the end of that stick. Just cut it. And this one you're going to need 4 trash bags for each of the ghosts that are this size. So I'm just going to take 2 and put it together. And then stick that onto the end, the little pointed end we just cut. We're going to pop that in and we're going to bring it up until there's about 1 inch of the stick sticking out of the end of the trash bags. Then we're going to take one of those little ties from the trash bag pack and just twist it around to secure those trash bags. Then we'll take our other 2 trash bags, put them together just like we did those last 2, and that will go on the top of our ghost's head. And once again, we will secure that to the stick under the ghost's head with one of those little trash bag ties. Now we get our cheesecloth. I was able to use this pack of cheesecloth, or this sheet of cheesecloth, for all of my ghosts. I think I got this for about $3 at Walmart. But like I said, if you can find it at the Dollar Tree, they do carry it. All the times I've ever made these in the past, I've always gotten my cheesecloth from the Dollar Tree. Just couldn't find it this year. Bad luck, I guess. You just need one little piece on the top of your ghost. Just lay it out, put it on your ghost, measure it out, see how much you need, and just snip that off. And once you have your cheesecloth on, you can take some ribbon, twine, jute, whatever you want, and tie that around the base of the head. This will not only secure our cheesecloth to our ghost, but it will make it look super cute. I dovetail the ends, hit it with a flame so it doesn't fray, And then I'm going to go in to my stash of buttons and grab a little purple button to put on this little guy. You can add little gemstones, rhinestones, googly eyes, whatever you want. Then we're going to take a piece of this black felt from the Dollar Tree, cut a piece that's big enough to make 2 eyes, fold it in half, and then start cutting our eyes out. This makes it a little faster, and it means your eyes will essentially look the same if that's what you want. You can also do them different sizes, different shapes. Just have fun with it. Once you've got them cut out, you can hot glue them onto your ghost. And I think he looks so cute. You can also make him a little mouth and glue that on as well. Be careful with the felt. If you tug on it too much, it will stretch out real bad. It stretches super easy. Now this one, yeah, okay. I accidentally made the whole ghost without putting the cheesecloth on. So I decided to put it on over top of everything, just using a little hot glue at the top, smoothing it out, and he looks so cute. Like, I don't know. I think it looks cute. It's like a little bride, maybe. So I guess she. Here's all of my other little ghosts. They all have different twines and ribbons and buttons and different eyes and mouths. You can just not add a mouth if you want. That's also an option. You can also make their eyes different sizes. There's also that. Once again, I will show you all of this stuff set up out in my yard after the video is complete. So at the very end. But I love these guys. They're so cute. My daughter broke one of the sticks on one of the tiny ghosts, so that's why there's only 3 here. I managed to fix it, but he's super short now. Yeah, it's okay though. Just want to drop in here real quick before we get to those last few projects and say, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Next up are our skull chimes. Yes. Just need a pack of those Dollar Tree bones and 2 of the Dollar Tree skulls and some yarn and maybe a couple circles of cardstock, but you'll see that in a minute. We're gonna heat up this little poker thing. This probably isn't even necessary. I just like to put a little starting hole. Anyway, I line it up with the nose and put it on the top of the head. We're gonna poke our hole, and then I take my garden shears and widen that hole a good amount. Once I have the hole widened, I'm going to take some yarn, just black yarn from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make like a little double. I'm going to double up on the yarn and make a little loop, do an overhand knot, a couple of them, and that is going to be our little hanger for this guy. So we're just going to take some hot glue, fill up that hole, and then just sort of shove that little knot down in there. And then secure with a little bit more hot glue. And then you want to tie some little pieces of yarn onto our bones. How long you want them is up to you. I didn't really measure. I just knew I didn't want them hanging too far from my skull, just far enough. So we're just going to tie those on, just double knot it. It doesn't have to be fancy. I take this black cardstock and cut 2 circles that will fit at the bottom of the skull's jaw without popping out and you seeing it. So I need 1 for each skull. We're going to take 5 of our bones. I have less than the pack came with. If you have more, add more, but this is what I had left was 10. So I'm going to line my bones up the way I want them to kind of hang on there and then even out all the strands. Then we're going to hot glue the very tops of our yarn strands to one side of this little circle all the way around. And then we'll add some more hot glue to that circle right on top of there where the yarn pieces are sitting and stick it to the bottom of our skull. And that's really it for this one, guys. Like, this is super simple and I just came up with it last minute, so I had to show you guys. Next up is our witchy window decor. I'm going to take one of these galvanized metal witch hats from the Dollar Tree, get rid of that hanger and that tag, and we're going to spray paint it. I'm using this matte black Rust-Oleum spray paint to give it a coat of paint. I give it 2 coats actually. If you don't have spray paint, just use some chalkboard paint or something like that. It's fine. Or leave it alone. You don't have to do it. Now my sister, she gives me these little cinnamon brooms all the time. Her husband loves the smell of cinnamon, but when the smell goes away, she gives me the brooms. So I took 2 of them, added this gorgeous ribbon from the Dollar Tree around the top of the handle and the base of the handle. And then we're going to put them together in a crossways, like crossing each other. I don't know, like my whole idea behind this was like cross swords and shields, you know, but witch broom and witch hat, right? I don't know. I'm just taking some twine and wrapping it around the center there to secure them together. And then we'll add our little witch hat. I just scraped off some of that spray paint so the glue would adhere better. I'm just going to hot glue that right on top of where they cross over each other. Then I'll take some ribbon and make the hat look nice and fancy, just hot gluing where I need it and wrap around the back. Super cute. Same ribbon I used on the brooms. When that's all done, you can add you a long string or however long you need it to be. I need mine to be pretty long, but I added a piece of jute so that I could hang it in my window. And I love this. You'll see it in my window at the end, but here it is on the wall. You could also put it on your wall, I guess, if you want. I think it's super cute though. Of course, you have to have some simple silhouettes, right? So I took some Dollar Tree poster board, black poster board, and here I'm drawing the base of like a big tombstone, I guess, the grave marker, whatever it is. It's huge. It's got like it's going to go up and have like a sort of cross-like pattern. I don't know. It's going to look kind of like a cross. But I'm just showing you how you can just sketch something out real quick on your own. And you don't have to print stuff out. If you want something big, just take a white marker or just some sort of marker you could see and just draw something up. It really doesn't have to be complicated. I mean, these are a lot of straight lines, so a ruler and a marker is really all you need. Anyway, once you get your base done, you can do the top, and all I did was take something and make a circle, like, yeah, at the top, and then I drew around it some little weird shapes to be, like, it's kind of like a cross shape, but it's not really a cross, you know? And I'm going to add some stuff in the middle and inside of those little sticking out thingies. I'm going to add like some little triangles in there that I'll cut out with an X-Acto knife. I also have some smaller black poster board from the Dollar Tree, and I'll link these down below, but these are silhouette stencil cutouts that you can print off the computer. And they're super simple. You just resize them the size you want on your computer, print them out, cut them out, trace them onto whatever color paper you want, and then cut that tracing out, and you have a silhouette. Now, if you're doing it like me and using a marker that shows up really well on the paper, just flip it over. You won't see it from the outside. And I made some crows and ravens and bigger bats. And those 2 black poster boards, I was able to make that one huge tombstone with it and 2 smaller tombstones. So that was pretty cool. Like I said, with this one, I'll have to take an X-Acto knife and cut out the more detailed spots. But that's super simple. No big deal. Just cut it out, pop it out, you're good to go. And then I taped these pieces together because I made like the bases and stuff separately from the tombstone shape itself. But that's totally fine because like the pieces weren't big enough to do it like all in one go because I used a lot of it for the big tombstone. So I just sort of pieced it together. I cut out 1989 on this one, and my other one says R.I.P., so rest in peace. I don't know. I made them pretty cool, I think. I like them. That's all that matters, right? And I will show you all these at the very end. They're hard to see in the daytime, so I'm sorry, guys, but you'll see them at the end. But right now we're going to go straight into our next project, which are the hat and broom garland. Super easy. You want you a pack of these witch hat picks and a pack of the little brooms from the Dollar Tree. They're 3 in a pack on each of those. If your hats are messed up like mine, just take some hot glue, piece them back together. I'm going to remove those little sheer ribbons and the little ties off of the brooms. And then I'll also remove the little picks from the hats. On the brooms, I just take some ribbon and add it to the top of that. Yes, this is the last of that ribbon. After the brooms, that was it. It was finally done for. So long, beautiful purple sheer sparkly ribbon. You guys are probably tired of seeing that ribbon. Then I also painted the handles with some gold paint, which is totally optional. Really going to depend on how much time you have to do these. And then I took some leftover cloth from my pillowcase covers, or from my pillow covers that I made in a couple videos ago. Just cut like 3 pieces. They're little square pieces. They're about 8 by 8 inches, maybe a little bigger. And of course, taking a flame to the edges that I cut because this stuff frays so terribly bad. And then I'm taking 3 of these golf balls from the Dollar Tree. You can also use foam balls if you have more foam balls. And we're going to make some little hanging witches. So we're going to wrap that over just like we did with the trash bags on our ghosts. And tie it down with a little bit of twine or string or ribbon or whatever you want. We're going to take some hot glue onto our hats and stick the hat on top of our little hanging witch. Then I'll take a little piece of black yarn and hot glue that onto the top of the hat so that it can be hung on the chain that we'll attach all this stuff to later. We'll also take a piece of yarn and tie it onto the handles of our brooms, once again, so they can be attached to the chain. I end up removing one of the links from it, and we're going to put the brooms and the witches on, alternating them every 2 chain links. So you're going to count 2 links, and on that 3rd link, add 1 item. And there's 2 chain links on each end, and we're also going to add we're going to take about 2 feet of twine, yarn, whatever you got. I'm going to add that, fold it in half, add it to the end of my chain, and tie a little overhand knot on the end. You want to do that to each end of your chain. And that's it. I mean, super, super simple witch garland. And I think it's so cute. Next up is our blooming crescent wreath. Yes, we're going to get one of these bamboo wreaths from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to find the skinniest part on it and cut it in half. We're just going to chop into it. Once you have that cut and you have an open end on your wreath, we're going to grab up those little ends of the twine because there's twine wrapped around it. We're just going to secure those back onto each end of the wreath. Just tie them on there. Maybe hot glue them down if you need to. It's up to you. We're going to take our shears and sort of taper the ends of the wreath where we cut them to make it look more like a crescent moon, I guess. And then I spray painted it with that same flat black spray paint. Totally optional. You can leave this a natural look if you want. Then I'm going to take this white cotton twine and start wrapping it around the ends, trying to accentuate that tapered look a little more. So I just wrap it about 1.5 inches, 2 inches from the end. I wrap it solid there, and then I'm going to just wrap a little bit around, just get myself to the other end of it so I can do this all in one piece of string. I hope that makes sense. It also just sort of makes it look a little nicer than if I just did each end. I like this better. When we get to the other end, we're going to do the same thing and just wrap it around solidly and sort of make that taper more obvious. Then I just hot glue the end, and we can start adding in our decorative pieces. So I make 3 little strands of beads using some clear, stretchy jewelry string stuff. I don't know. But I would take a bunch of beads from this jewelry making kit my sister got me, and I just make something really pretty. I use like purple and white beads and some gold beads and silver beads. I don't know, do whatever you want or leave this off. It's entirely up to you. I tie them onto the top of my wreath, and now I'm going to add in these gorgeous hydrangea flowers from the Dollar Tree. It's some of their fall ones. They got like, they're blue with like a purple tinge on them. I also grabbed some berry picks and some of these branches, sparkly branches. We're going to pull the flowers off of our stems. We only need the flower portion. I am going to use all the flowers from all 3 picks for this. And I'm just going to start hot gluing them onto the bottom of my wreath. I do hot glue all of the flowers from almost 2 of those picks before I start adding in other stuff. And I'll use the last pick to sort of fill in and make sure there's no open gaps or weird spots. So once you have the flowers from 2 of your picks on, we can take that blue, the sparkly branches. I'm only going to use these black ones. I was going to use the purple ones, but they're too magenta like. I don't know. So I'm going to take 4 pieces of this branch pick, and we're going to attach 2 behind the flowers on either side of the little flower spot here. You'll see. I'm so terrible at explaining stuff. I really am. Yeah, so we're just going to scrape off some of that glitter so we can hot glue that down really well. And it's just going to pop out the side of our flowers. So you're going to add 2 there and then 2 on the left side as well. Once those are on, I'm going to take the flowers from my 3rd pick and I'm just going to add those in wherever I want. Just filling it up and making sure there's no weird spots or gaps. Once those are attached, I take just the purple berry picks. I didn't use the black ones. I just take those 2 picks and stick them in. Just put some hot glue on them and shove them down into the wreath itself. And of course, I felt like it needed a little bit more, so I grabbed 3 of those cream colored pumpkins, the little bitty ones, you know, from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to stick those down into the wreath as well. And I took 5 of the cream colored mini mums, just the flowers, and I'm going to hot glue those around as well. We're going to create a little hanger just using some wire, nothing fancy. I'm just going to twist some wire onto the wreath itself, make a loop, twist it together, and that's it. I love this wreath. It's probably the best wreath I've ever made. Don't know how well it matches with all the rest of my decor, but I really wanted to make it and really wanted to share it with you guys. So I hope you like it. Let me know which one of these projects was your favorite in the comments down below. I think mine is definitely the wreath. Yeah. And here we go. You can see the full reveal. So I did witches and ghosts on one of these windows. I have 2 of those windows in the front of my house. So I did witches and ghosts over here. There's that little skull chime. It's so cool. And I put some pumpkins around with it. And yes, those are dead mums. I killed them, okay? But they make great Halloween decoration. I also put some just random Halloween decorations I had packed up in the window. I have some lights, but it's hard to see it in the daytime. I'm sorry. If you go over to Instagram, I'll try to post some nighttime pics of all my decorations if I get a chance and it doesn't rain. And this is my graveyard window flower bed. I love this. I added some skewers to those little tongs, you know, the salad tongs, the skeleton hand salad tongs from the Dollar Tree. I made those into garden stakes too. Here's my little silhouette graveyard. I really like it. It turned out so good. You can't see this one that good, but it's cool, I promise. And this is stuff that I just, you know, it's just hung up. It looks cool. My sister gave me that witch parking sign she got at Target. Here's our jack-o'-lanterns. We had so much fun carving those. Of course, my wreath is on my door. And there's some creepy cloth on my porch light. And then over beside my door, I've got this little table, and I covered my gnome in creepy cloth. Yes, another dead plant. Leave me alone. I can't help it. I try to keep them alive. And of course, the witch garland. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And that's it for all of my Halloween projects this year. I really hope you enjoyed them. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments down below. Hopefully, these will inspire you to create something really quick and easy to just zhuzh up your yard before those trick-or-treaters start trickling in. I had so much fun making all of these projects and videos for you guys. Check out the playlist. I'm gonna link it here at the end. Hope you guys have a spectacularly spooky Halloween, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy haunting!